It's 3:42 a.m. on December 22nd, 1944. The Ardennes forest, just outside Bastogne, Belgium. Snow falls thick, turning the world white and silent. Sergeant Jack Harlan crouches in a shallow foxhole, his M1 Garand rifle down to its last clip, 8 rounds. 3 SS soldiers from the 5th Panzer Army have him surrounded. They've flanked him in the dark, their MP-40 submachine guns locked on his position. One steps forward, boots crunching ice, his breath visible in the cold. Harlan's unit is 2 miles back, pinned down by artillery. He's cut off, outnumbered 3-1, with no backup coming before dawn. In minutes, they'll rush him. Bullets will fly. Blood will spill on the snow. But Harlan stays still. He grips his knife in his left hand. His face shows nothing, no fear, just focus. To understand how a man like Jack Harlan ends up here, alone against the odds, you have to go back. Back to a small farm in Iowa, summer of 1941. Harlan was 22, strong from years of plowing fields and fixing fences. His father died young, left him to run the place with his mother and 2 younger brothers. He wasn't one for talk, preferred action. When Pearl Harbor hit, he didn't wait for the draft. Enlisted the next day in Des Moines. Basic training at Camp Dodge turned boys into soldiers. Harlan excelled. Steady aim, quick decisions. Instructors noticed. By 42, he shipped out to England, joined the 101st Airborne, trained for jumps, night drops into enemy territory. His first real taste of war came in Sicily, July 43, Operation Husky. Harlan's plane caught flak over the coast. The stick of paratroopers ahead of him got shredded mid-air. Bodies tumbled out, chutes tangled. Harlan hit the DZ hard, twisted ankle on landing, but he linked up with his squad by dawn. Germans held the high ground, machine guns sweeping the fields. Harlan's platoon took fire crossing a ravine. Men dropped, 12 down in the first push. He spotted a nest 200 yards out. No time for orders. He crawled forward alone, belly in the dirt, grenades in hand. Pulled the pins, tossed 2. The gun went silent. His platoon advanced. That day, they took the ridge. Harlan got a Bronze Star. Quietly. He didn't talk about it. Normandy changed everything. D-Day, June 6, 1944. Harlan dropped with easy company. 506th PIR. His chute snagged a hedgerow on landing. He cut free, rifle intact, chaos everywhere, Germans everywhere. His squad linked up near Sainte-Mère-Église, but the fight was brutal. Utah Beach bled red. Harlan pushed inland, clearing farmhouses. One night near Carrington, they hit a German patrol, ambush. Harlan's best friend, Tommy from Ohio, took a round to the chest. Harlan dragged him 50 yards under fire, applied a tourniquet. Tommy lived, but the next morning they stormed a pillbox. Grenades inside. Harlan kicked the door, fired from the hip. 3 Krauts dead. His arm burned from shrapnel. Patched it himself. No medic available. That was Harlan. Fix what breaks. Keep moving. The 101st earned its Screaming Eagles patch in those months. Hell on the hedgerows. Bogage country trapped them in endless fights. Harlan led a patrol once, deep into enemy lines. Fog rolled in. They stumbled on a supply dump, ammo crates, fuel drums. Guards spotted them. Shootout. Harlan's men outnumbered 5-12. He called the shots, flanked the Germans, used the fog, blew the dump with thermite. Fire lit the sky. They escaped with 3 wounded. Harlan carried one over his shoulder for a mile. Back at base, brass called it a win, destroyed enough gear to stall a counterattack. Harlan just reloaded his rifle. War wasn't about medals. It was survival. One choice at a time. By fall, the push to Germany heated up. Market Garden failed, but Harlan's unit held the line. Operation Pegasus, evacuating Brits from Dutch soil. Harlan covered the rear, sniping from a church steeple. Germans closed in, tanks rumbling. He picked off officers, bought time for 2 Zero-Zeren men to cross the river. Shells whistled close. One hit the tower, blew out the wall. Harlan fell 20 feet, landed in rubble, broke 2 ribs, fought on. Medevac later called him unbreakable. He laughed it off. Pain was just noise. Bastogne hit in December. The bulge. Germans punched through like a fist. 200 Zuzerud troops, 1 Zuzerud tanks. Allies caught flat-footed. The 101st dug in, surrounded. No food, no sleep. Temps dropped to 0. Harlan's company held the foxholes around town. Artillery rained daily, 500 shells a day. Trees splintered, men froze in their tracks. Harlan scouted ahead one night, marked minefields, saved a platoon from walking into them. Then the counter-push. His squad advanced through the woods, snow up to knees. Fog hid the enemy. They hit resistance, SS panzers probing the line. That led to the night of the 22nd. Harlan volunteered for recon. Alone. Check a ravine for Kraut positions. Radio contact lost 2 hours in. He moved quiet, boots muffled in snow. Spotted movement. 3 SS men. Elite, black uniforms, setting up an ambush on his unit's flank. Harlan backtracked, but they heard him. A twig snapped. They fanned out, pinned him. Now, 3:42 a.m. They're 20 yards off, closing. Harlan breathes steady, counts his rounds, knife ready. The first one whispers in German, halt or die. Harlan doesn't answer, he waits. Snow keeps falling. The forest holds its breath. 1 SS edges left. Gun up, Harlan shifts, sights the shadow. Heart steady, he's faced worse, but this, 3-on-1, no escape. The leader signals. They move. Harlan exhales. It's now or never. The shot cracks first, from his rifle. 1 down. The others fire wild. Snow erupts. Harlan rolls, knife out. Chaos unfolds. Bullets zip past. He lunges. The second grabs his collar. Fights close. Harlan drives the blade home. Blood sprays hot on the cold. The third circles. MP40 chattering. Harlan dives behind a log. Last clip empty. Knife slick. The German shouts, advances. Harlan rises. No fear. Just the fight. Dawn breaks slow. Bodies in the snow. Harlan stands, breathing hard. Radio crackles, unit inbound. He saved the flank. But the cost. His arm hangs limp. Grazed. The forest quiets. War moves on. Harlan wipes the blade. Walks back. Unbroken. Normandy changed everything. D-Day, June 6, 1944. Harlan dropped with Easy Company, 506th PIR. His chute snagged a hedgerow on landing, thick bushes that tore at the fabric. He cut free with his knife, rifle still slung over his shoulder. The air filled with the roar of planes and the crack of anti-aircraft fire. Bodies hit the ground around him, some still, some crawling. Germans opened up from every direction. Machine guns chattered from farmhouses and church steeples. Harlan linked up with his squad near Sainte-Mère-Église by first light. The town burned. Paratroopers fought house to house, clearing rooms with grenades and bayonets. Utah Beach stretched out behind them, waves crashing red with blood. Allied ships shelled the coast, but the push inland was hell. Hedgerows boxed them in, sunken lanes lined with earthen walls, perfect for ambushes. Harlan's platoon advanced through one, single file, M1s ready. A German MG-42 nest opened fire from 50 yards ahead. Bullets chewed the bank, pinning them down. 2 men hit right away, screaming. Harlan spotted the gunner through a gap in the foliage. No clear shot. He low-crawled forward, 30 yards in the mud, heart pounding, steady. Pulled a grenade, cooked it for 2 seconds, lobbed it over the wall. Explosion rocked the air. Dirt rained down. The nest went quiet. His platoon moved up, took the position. 5 Germans dead inside. Harlan wiped mud from his face, kept going. That first week blurred into constant contact. They cleared Carrington. A crossroads town turned slaughterhouse. Night patrol near the outskirts, Harlan on point. Fog hung low, visibility 20 feet. They bumped a German patrol, 10 strong, moving the other way. Contact. Harlan's sergeant yelled, "Contact rear." Shots cracked in the dark. His best friend, Tommy from Ohio, caught one in the chest, point blank. Blood soaked his jumpsuit. Harlan dropped beside him, ripped open a med kit, applied pressure, then a tourniquet on the arm where the exit wound bled worst. Dragged Tommy back 50 yards, bullets snapping overhead. Germans flanked but lost the element. Tommy gasped. "I owe you." Harlan just nodded. Got him to an aid station by dawn. Tommy pulled through, shipped home later. The hedgerow fighting dragged on for weeks. Bocage country, every field a kill zone. Germans used the terrain like walls, popping up with panzers and infantry. Harlan's company took heavy losses. One pushed toward St. Lo, they hit a minefield. Harlan marked the path with bayonets stuck in the ground, probed ahead with his rifle barrel, saved 8 men that day. Then the counterattack. Panzers rolled in at dusk, 80 Minotaur guns booming. Harlan's squad held a ditch line, 3 deep. Shells landed close, shrapnel whistling. One ripped through his left arm, tore muscle. Pain hit like fire. No time to stop. He bandaged it tight with his shirt, fought on, fired until the barrel glowed. Germans pulled back at midnight. Medics patched him later. Stitches, no infection. Harlan was back in the line by morning. Summer turned to fall. The breakout at St. Lo opened the road to Paris. Harlan's unit liberated the city, crowds cheering from windows. But the real grind came after. Pushing east, supply lines stretched thin. They crossed into Holland for Market Garden, September 44. Montgomery's big gamble. Airborne drops to seize bridges, end the war by Christmas. Harlan's plane lifted off from England, gliders trailing. They dropped over Eindhoven, linked with the Brits. But the corridor narrowed fast. Germans counterattacked with everything. SS panzers, paratroopers. The 101st held the southern end. Hell's Highway turned into a shooting gallery. Harlan led a squad to secure a crossroads. Stukas dove, bombs walking the road. Trees exploded around them. They dug in, waited out the air raid. Then the ground, push, Panzer Grenadiers in half-tracks, MG fire sweeping. Harlan called suppressing fire, flanked with 2 men. Took out a half-track with a bazooka round, 30 yards out. Flame and smoke billowed. His team advanced, cleared the infantry. 8 down. But the op failed. Arnhem Bridge held by the enemy, thousands trapped. Harlan covered the withdrawal, Operation Pegasus, later that month. Brits and Yanks evacuating across the Rhine. He took position in a bombed church steeple overlooking the river. Sniped from 300 yards, picking off German officers directing the chase. Tanks rumbled below, 75 Minotaur guns firing blindly. Shells started falling. One whistled in, direct hit on the tower, stone shattered. Harlan rode the collapse, 20 feet down into rubble. Ribs cracked on impact. Breath knocked out. Pain shot through his side. Germans closed the distance, 200 yards now. He coughed blood, grabbed his rifle, fired from prone, downed 2 more. His position bought time. 2-0 men crossed before the noose tightened. Medevac chopper pulled him out at dusk. Docs called the ribs fractured, possible punctured lung. Harlan waved it off. Tape it and send me back. They did, after 2 days. He returned to the line, moving stiff but sure. By November, the front stabilized. But the Germans weren't done. Intelligence buzzed about a big offensive in the west. Ardennes sector, quiet woods, thin lines, perfect for a surprise. The 101st moved south, reinforced Bastogne. Small Belgian town, roads converging like veins. Harlan's company dug foxholes in the pine forest outside. Snow starting to fall. Temps plunged to freezing, rations short, ammo tight. Then December 16th, it hit. German artillery opened up. 5 Usenjung shells a day. Trees toppled like matchsticks. Panzers probed the gaps. SS units in the lead. Fanatics. No surrender. The 101st got surrounded quick. No resupply. Cut off. Harlan scouted daily, marking enemy movements. One night, he led a patrol through the snow. Knees deep. Fog blanketed everything. They hit an SS outpost, 3 men setting charges on a trail. Harlan signaled hold fire, but a boot slipped on ice. Germans spun, weapons up. Short firefight. Harlan dropped one with a burst, knife to another's throat. The third ran. Patrol pulled back, but the damage was done. Brass needed eyes on the flank. Harlan volunteered for solo recon the next night. Check the ravine for panzer positions. Radio him coordinates. Simple. He geared up, rifle, knife, one grenade, slipped into the woods at 1 a.m. December 22nd. Snow muffled his steps, forest dark, branches heavy. 2 hours in, signal lost, static on the radio. He pressed on, belly low. Spotted them, 3 SS, black collars, elite from the 5th Panzer, setting up an ambush right on his unit's approach. Harlan froze, backed away, slow. Twigs snapped underfoot, they heard. Whispers in German, then boots fanning out. He dove into a foxhole, shallow and iced over. MP40s cycled rounds, they had him pinned, 20 yards apart. No way out before dawn. His unit 2 miles back, held by barrage. Harlan checked his clip, 8 rounds, knife in hand. Breathed even. The leader edged forward, flashlight beam cutting the snow. Harlan's finger hovered on the trigger, waited. The trap closed. The snow kept falling, thick flakes blurring the edges of the world. Harlan lay flat in the foxhole, back pressed to frozen dirt. The 3 SS men moved like shadows, boots sinking soft into the white. Their leader, tall with a scarred jaw, signaled right. One flanked left, the other held center. MP40s sweeping slow arcs. Harlan's breath fogged the air, but he kept it shallow. 8 rounds left, 1 grenade. Knife gripped tight in his offhand. The radio hissed static. Dead now, no call for help. Dawn was hours off. His unit fought their own hell 2 miles east, shells pounding the line. He'd been here before, not this exact spot, but close enough. Back in Normandy, that night near Carentan. Fog so thick you couldn't see your own boots. Harlan on point, squad strung out behind. They ghosted through an orchard, apples rotting underfoot. Germans patrolled the same path, 8 of them, rifles slung casual. Harlan heard the murmur first, cigarette smoke cutting the mist. He dropped a fist, froze the line, but one kid in the squad, green from stateside. Shifted wrong, boot crunched a branch. Germans wheeled, shouts sharp. Contact exploded, bullets tore the trees, tracers streaking red. Harlan fired first, dropped the point man with a headshot at 15 yards. His M1 barked twice more, another down. But they swarmed, outnumbering 4 to 1. Squads scattered, 2 hit bad. Harlan grabbed Tommy's arm, best friend, eyes wide. "Flank left," he whispered. They low-crawled through the underbrush, thorns ripping sleeves. Germans sprayed the open ground, pinning the others. Harlan circled wide, 40 yards out. Spotted the machine gunner setting up on a low wall. No time for aim. He cooked the grenade, rolled it underhand. Blast lit the night, screams mixed with the boom. Shrapnel pinged off stone. The gunner slumped, legs gone. They closed the gap then. Harlan rose, bayonet fixed, charged the flank. Tommy covered with bursts. Close work, knife work. One German lunged, bayonet glancing Harlan's shoulder. He twisted, drove his blade up under the ribs. Hot blood spilled over his glove. The man gurgled, dropped. Tommy nailed the last 2, point blank. Squad regrouped. 4 left, standing. They dragged the wounded back under moonlight. Germans regrouping behind, aid station by false dawn. Harlan stitched his own cut with fishing line from his kit. No fuss. That scrap cleared the path to Carentan. Took the town next day. Brass noted it in the logs. Harlan's call saved the platoon from wipeout, but nights like that built the edge. Harlan learned the quiet before the storm. The way fear tightens the gut, then fades if you focus. He thought of it now, in the foxhole. The SS leader paused 10 yards out, flashlight beam dancing over the snow. He barked low. "Kommen Sie raus, Amerikaner! Come out, American!" Harlan stayed still, finger light on the trigger. The flanker on the left edged closer, gun muzzle probing the dark. Harlan tracked him in the corner of his eye, 20 feet, too close for comfort. Flashback hit quick. Holland, that church steeple in 44. Operation Pegasus, Harlan up high, rifle braced on the sill. River below, black and wide. Brits and Yanks streamed across the bridge. 2 0-0 souls desperate for the far bank. Germans hunted them, half-tracks grinding through the mud. Infantry fanning out. Harlan picked his shots careful, officers first. One at 250 yards, scope steady despite the wind. Bullet took the man in the neck. He crumpled over his map. Another at the half-track commander, 180 yards. Engine stalled as confusion hit. Harlan's spotter fed him ranges, voice calm over the wind. Then the shells came. Whump, whump, overhead. First one missed, cratered the street below. Second clipped the tower base, stone cracking like thunder. Harlan felt the shake, braced. Third direct. Explosion ripped the wall apart. Debris flew, beams splintered. He tumbled, world spinning, hit the rubble pile 20 feet down. Air punched out. Ribs snapped like dry wood. Pain bloomed hot, but he rolled, grabbed the rifle. Germans 150 yards and closing, shouts carrying. Harlan fired from the dirt, prone and gasping. Downed the lead scout, then the radio man. Bullets chipped stone around him, dust in his mouth. His fire slowed them, bought the crossing time. Chopper came low, rotors thumping, pulled him out as the line buckled. Docs taped the ribs, shot him full of morphine. Harlan refused the evac stateside. War's not done, he said, back in 2 days. Sling off by 3. That grit carried him. Unbreakable, they called it. But Harlan knew better. Just choices, one after another. Now, in the Ardennes cold, the SS tightened the noose. The center man fired a burst into the brush, testing. Bullets whined past, shredded pine needles. Harlan didn't flinch. He shifted an inch, sighted the leader through the Garan's iron. 7 rounds after this one. The flanker whispered something, circled wider. Harlan's mind raced clear. Take the leader. Break their nerve. But numbers bit hard. 3 guns to his 1, no cover but snow and logs. Bastonia's siege pressed in, days of it now. The 101st ringed the town, foxholes like islands in white hell. Germans hammered the perimeter, panzers growling in the fog. Harlan's company lost 10 men to frost alone, toes black and gone. Rations down to K's, crackers and cheese spread, frozen solid. He shared his last heat tab with a kid from Texas, shivering bad. Eats slow, Harlan said, keeps the fire going. That night, brass called for recon. Flank needed eyes. Harlan stepped up. No one argued. He knew the woods, moved like smoke. Into the ravine now, the trap full. Leader raised his hand, charge signal. They moved as one, boots crunching. Harlan exhaled slow, squeezed the trigger. Crack echoed sharp. Leader jerked back, chest bloom dark on snow. Down. The others fired wild, muzzle flashes orange in the night. Bullets tore the foxhole lip, dirt spraying Harlan's face. He rolled left, came up firing. Second shot. Flanker on the left dropped, leg hit, screaming in German. MP40 chattered back, rounds zipping inches from his ear. Harlan dove behind a fallen log, snow puffing up. Art hammered even, knife out now, slick in the cold. The last SS circled fast, breath ragged. Du stirbst, he growled. You die. Harlan peeked, fired. Click, jam. Snow in the action. He cursed low, cleared it rough. Burst came, stitched the log. Splinters flew. Harlan lunged low, closed the gap. The German swung the MP40 like a club. Harlan ducked, drove forward. They grappled, close and brutal. Fist to jaw, then knee to gut. Harlan twisted, knife flashing, blade bit deep, side of the neck. Man gurgled, eyes wide, fell heavy. Silence dropped, snow filled the prints. Harlan stood, chest heaving, arm burned, graze from a stray round. He wiped the knife on his pants, scanned the dark. Bodies still. Radio crackled faint. Unit breaking through. He keyed it. Flank clear, 3 down. Voice steady. Walked out slow, forest waking grey. The line held because of this. 1 man, 1 fight. War ground on, but Harlan breathed free. For now. Harlan knelt in the snow, knife dripping red onto white. The last SS man lay twisted at his feet, eyes staring blank at the branches overhead. Steam rose from the body, quick in the cold. Harlan's arm throbbed. A deep graze tearing through his sleeve. Blood soaked the fabric, warm then sticky. He pressed his glove to it, hard. No time to check deep. The forest creaked under wind, pines swaying like warnings. He scanned the dark. Shadows held still. No more movement. But echoes lingered. Distant artillery rumbled, a low growl from the east. His unit pushed that way, fighting through the barrage. He grabbed the leader's MP40 from the snow, checked the mag, half full, 20 rounds maybe, slinged it over his shoulder. His Garand lay jammed beside the foxhole, snow packed in the bolt. He worked it free with numb fingers, cleared the chamber. 1 round left. Better than nothing. Radio hissed again, voice breaking through static. "Harlan, report. Flank secure." It was Captain Winters. Clipped and urgent. Harlan keyed the button, breath fogging the mouthpiece. "Clear. 3 hostiles down. Ambush site marked, ravine west of the trail." Pause. Static crackled. "Copy. Hold position. We're breaking through in 10. Medics inbound." Harlan clicked off. 10 minutes, long time in the bulge. He dragged the bodies one by one, piled them behind the log. No time for burial. Snow would cover soon. The leader's face caught moonlight, scarred jaw slack now, helmet tipped off. Harlan rifled pockets quick. Maps, cigarettes, a silver lighter etched with an eagle. Nothing useful. He pocketed the lighter, flicked it once. Flame danced steady, extinguished it. Saved for trade later. Pain shot up his arm as he moved the second body. Bullet had furrowed deep, muscle exposed. He tore a strip from the dead man's scarf, bound it tight over his own wound. Pressure built, blood slowed. Good enough. Footsteps crunched then, soft, multiple. Harlan dropped low, MP40 up. Heart kicked once, then settled. Shapes emerged from the trees, 30 yards east. His own, 101st, rifles low, faces gaunt under helmets. Private Malone led, the kid from Texas, eyes wide. "Sarge, that you?" Harlan rose slow, weapon down. "Yeah, flank's yours." Malone approached, boots sinking, saw the pile, whistled low. "Christ, 3 of 'em? Alone?" Harlan nodded once. No words needed. The squad fanned out, secured the site. Medics pushed forward, kit open. One knelt by Harlan, cut the scarf away. "Grazed bad, needs stitches. Infection risk in this freeze." Harlan shrugged it off. "Patch it. We move." They worked fast. Needle pulled thread through skin. Harlan's jaw tight but silent. Snow fell thicker, blanketing the blood spots. Captain Winters arrived next. Fur-collared coat dusted white. Tall, steady, eyes sharp. "Report full." Harlan stood, arms slung now. "Spotted 'em setting charges on the trail. SS, 5th Panzer. Flanked me when I pulled back. Took the leader first, rifle shot. Then close work." Winters glanced at the bodies, MP40s still clutched. "Knife?" Harlan tapped the blade on his belt. "Yeah." Winters nodded slow. "Flank holds because of you. Panzers probing that ravine. Would have rolled us at dawn." He clapped Harlan's good shoulder. "Good work, Sergeant." The squad pulled back then, double time through the woods. Dawn greyed the sky, light filtering, weak through clouds. Harlan brought up rear, MP40 ready. Arm burned with each step, but he ignored it. Forest thinned near the line, foxholes ringed with wire, men huddled over fires. Bastogne loomed distant, church steeple stark against white. Shells whistled occasional, craters smoking fresh. His company greeted them, cheers low and tired. "Harlan's back." Someone passed coffee. Black and hot. He sipped, felt the burn down his throat. Word spread quick. Brass called Harlan in by noon, CP in a bombed-out farmhouse. Colonel Sink waited, maps spread on a crate. Maps showed the bulge, German spearhead deep 50 miles. Bastogne the hinge. "Your recon shifted the line," Sink said, voice gravel. "SS ambush dismantled, saved a platoon from enfilade." Harlan stood easy. "Just did the job, sir." Sink eyed the sling. "Heard about the 3, knife work." Harlan met his gaze. They came close, had to. Sink pulled a paper from his pocket. Citation form. Silver Star. Recommend immediate. Harlan blinked once. Didn't argue. War didn't care for shine, but orders were orders. Back to the line that afternoon. Snow eased, but cold bit deeper. Harlan's squad dug reinforcements, deeper holes against the wind. Malone sat close, cleaning his rifle. "How'd you do it, Sarge? 3 on 1? Harlan loaded clips, methodical. Waited, chose the moment. "Fear don't help." Malone nodded, stared at his hands. "Saw Tommy's scar last leave, said you pulled him out once, like this." Harlan paused. "Tommy talks too much." But a ghost of smile crossed his face. Night fell early, temps dropping to 10 below. Rations came, canned meat hard as rock. Harlan shared his with the medic who'd stitched him. Payback! Artillery picked up at dusk. Germans probing again, shells marching the perimeter. Boom, boom, earth shaking. Harlan's foxhole took a near miss, dirt cascading in. He brushed it off, peered over the lip. Tracers arced from the south. Panzer fire. His unit held, M1s cracking back. Radio buzzed orders. Hold the flank. Harlan gripped the MP40, rounds chambered. Arm ached, but steady. The fight from the ravine replayed in flashes. Blade sinking, blood hot. Close calls built walls. This one added another. By midnight the barrage eased. Patrols out quiet. Harlan volunteered again, but Sink shut it down. "Rest, Sergeant. You've earned it." He lay back, eyes on stars, peeking through clouds. Body heavy, mind clear. The bulge ground on. Thousands dead already, allies pushing back slow. His 3 down meant something. A ripple. Flanks secure, town held. Courage wasn't loud. It was the knife in the dark, the shot that waited. Harlan closed his eyes. Sleep came shallow. Dawn would bring more. But he was ready, always. The days blurred after that night in the ravine. Bastogne held, a frozen knot in the German advance. Harlan's arm healed slow under the bandages, stitches pulling tight with every shovel of dirt. The 101st dug deeper, foxholes turning to ice caves. Shells fell like rain, German 105s walking the line from dawn to dark. Men huddled close, breath shared for warmth. Harlan checked his squad hourly, eyes on the tree line. No more solo runs. Orders from Sink, conserve the unbreakable ones. By Christmas Eve, the siege bit harder. Temps hit -20. Frostbite claimed fingers, toes. Harlan's company lost 2 to gangrene, screams echoing in the aid tent. Rations dropped to 1 meal a day, spam and crackers, chewed slow. Planes couldn't drop supplies. Skies owned by Luftwaffe, but C-47s risked it anyway, silhouettes against the grey. One went down short, 500 yards out. Harlan led the salvage, crawling through wire under sniper fire. Pulled ammo crates, med kits. Germans peppered the wreck, bullets kicking snow. His team dragged it back, lost 1 man to a stray round. That haul kept them fighting. Bullets for the M1s, morphine for the pain. Word of Harlan's stand spread through the ranks. GIs in other foxholes nodded when he passed. "Heard you knifed 3 SS solo." Harlan shrugged it off, loaded clips by firelight. But brass moved fast. New Year's Eve, a jeep rolled up from Division HQ. Mud caked on tires. Lieutenant Nixon climbed out, folder in hand. "Harlan, Silver Star approved. Washington's stamp on it." He pinned the ribbon to Harlan's jacket, cold metal biting through wool. Captain Winters watched, face set. "Earned it twice over." Harlan touched the star, felt its weight. No speech, just a nod. War didn't pause for honours. Shells whistled close as they drove off. The bulge turned then. Patton's Third Army punched north from the south, 250 Chauzeren men, tanks grinding through drifts. January 3rd, they linked up at Assenois, corridor open 10 miles wide. Supplies flooded in, hot chow, fresh socks, mail from home. Harlan's first letter in weeks from his mother in Iowa. "Boys are fine. Farm's holding. Come home whole." He read it once, folded it away. Squad celebrated quiet, canned turkey, coffee steaming. Malone raised a canteen. "To the knife man." Laughter cut the cold. Harlan drank deep. Arm still ached, but the wound scarred clean. Panzers pulled back under the push. SS units fought rear guard, desperate stands in the pines. Harlan's company advanced, boots crunching crust. They cleared villages, house to house, Foy, Noville. Germans booby-trapped doors, tripwires in the snow. One blew Malone's leg, bone white against red. Harlan applied the tourniquet himself, tight as he could. "Hang on, kid." Medevac jeep came fast, Malone pale but breathing. Harlan covered the evac, fired into shadows until they were gone. That night, around a captured stove, he cleaned his knife, edge honed sharp. Bloodstains gone, but memory stuck. The line pushed east into Germany proper. February brought mud, roads churned to slurry. Harlan's squad crossed the Our River, pontoons swaying under fire. Machine guns swept from the far bank, tracers green in the dusk. He called the crossings, men low in the water, rifles high. Lost 3 to the current, swept under. Germans shelled the bridgehead, 88s booming flat. Harlan flanked a nest, crawled 100 yards through mud, grenade ready, tossed it in the slit, blast silenced the gun. His men poured over, took the hill. Dawn showed the dead twisted in the wire. Harlan marked the positions, kept moving. By March, the Rhine loomed. Remagen Bridge intact, a miracle grab. Harlan's unit crossed under air cover, P-51s strafing the east bank. Factories burned, smoke black against spring sky. They pushed to the Elbe, towns reduced to rubble. Civilians emerged, hollow-eyed, hands up. Harlan shared rations with a kid, no older than his brother. "Eat," he said. The boy nodded, scarfed it down. War's end whispered close, but the cost piled high. Division down 200 men from Bastogne alone. VE Day hit May 8th. Guns fell silent. Harlan stood on a hill outside Berchtesgaden, Eagle's Nest in view. Snow melted to streams, green pushing through. His arm full motion now, scar a white line. Silver star, pinned permanent. He hitched a ride to Paris first, then a ship home. Iowa welcomed quiet, farm waiting, family whole. But nights brought the ravine back. Snow, knife, the close fight. 3 men down, one choice. Harlan lived long after, ran the land till his sons took over. Died at 86, heart giving out mid-plow. They buried him with the star, folded flag. No fanfare, just the truth of it. That night in the Ardennes showed war's raw edge. One man, cornered, chooses. Fear comes, but action cuts through. Courage isn't the charge or the medal. It's the steady hand when the world closes in. Harlan knew, and in knowing, he endured.